AI is this evolving journey that we're all experiencing in different ways. What have you learned so far from using AI within your business that perhaps has made things easier or faster, more efficient?
How long do we have? There are so many different ways that it's made everything more efficient. So I think for me personally, it's being able to create from scratch entire campaigns. So not just thinking beyond the pedestrian of, refine this or make this more engaging, thinking about entire organizational strategies and where marketing sits within that. So for example, end-to-end campaign with your content, with your channels, with your key messages. How does that convert to, say, employee programs? How are you going to bring people along? How does that work with your talent acquisition strategy, for example? What's your life at Liz RT page going to say? So you're able to think much more holistically about some of the things that marketing is driving.
How far do you find the technology kind of freeing because it's giving you more time to do other stuff as it does all the heavy lifting?
I think day to day, it's an immense amount of freedom, but there's also a lot, I'm trying to consume a lot more. So there's a limit to how much you can actually consume everything that you're creating and all of the ways that I'm trying to find ways to sort of hack my learning. So you can create your own program, for example, how am I going to retain this information? But you can go further and further down. So I think any net gains that I'm getting in my job, I'm reinvesting in trying to learn more.
Do you see, when you look to the future of B2B marketing, do you see big changes ahead? Do you think there's going to be big advantages for organizations to kind of embrace?
Well, I think anything really, as long as it's ethical and responsible, and you're doing it very responsibly and within the confines of the LLMs themselves. But I think the biggest changes that we're going to see in marketing are how and where your brand shows up. So surfaceability is a big word at the moment, and it's making all marketers rethink where they talk about their brand, how they position their brand, how they influence the groups that give the LLMs the results of that brand. So Reddit is becoming a really big thing to manage. Substack communities are becoming a big thing to manage. So it goes beyond the typical keyword search
Right.
and all of those types of traditional marketing areas. And you have to think much more intentionally about the structure of your content and how and where it's found.
So have you found a way to influence the recommendations that, say, ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini offer up? Because we can no longer trust the model, as you just pointed out, of, Google SEO.
Well, I read somewhere that it's 4.5 times more likely that someone will take the response of an AI-generated answer than actually even go through organic or paid. So it's changing the game for lots and lots of marketeers. There is no easy way to circumvent that because it's supposed to be built on trust and credibility, which is good because I think it takes away some of the marketing hyperbole that of old and actually makes it much more structured and easy to read because it's being read, it's being designed to be read by AI as well. So there's lots of long form content rich, very authoritative, being in the right place, and it just encourages more research based or well structured content as opposed to bells and whistles.
So what skills do you think people in, let's say, the marketing space where you're so active, what skills will they need to be able to handle the new world, the world that is being driven in so many ways by the capabilities of AI?
Mm. It's very interesting. I think that marketers now need to think about not marketing with AI, but marketing to AI. It becomes almost its own persona in the whole buyer journey. So how are you going to get your content and your brand front and center from from the first word?
Right.
So I think it's really those skills about working with, but also to, are going to be something that all marketers need to get very familiar with. And I think it goes beyond. So it used to be that everyone was in sales, and now everyone's in marketing, and everyone's in brand. Now everyone's in martech, and they're all in AI. So people have to rethink and redesign. And I think it's a great reset point for many brands.
And the future is not yet written. And so
Exactly.
we don't really know where it's going to go, but we can at least position ourselves for it.
Exactly.
All right. Personally speaking now, what excites you about AI and its capabilities?
Mhm. Um, I personally love it for learning journeys. Like I'm obsessed with creating either refreshing old skills. So, for example, I hadn't done investor communications for a long time. So, writing myself a program of learning for that. There's things like crisis scenarios. I love doing this. So, you can even write it so that in a meeting with your team, you and I wouldn't know this either. I give it the basic, it gives it a chat, a co-pilot, the basic script of what I want, but to come up with injects throughout a meeting with your team so you can live test a response to a crisis. And even if I don't know the details of that crisis, as it unfolds, it's like a stress test. And nothing will ever overshadow the actual experience that you have as a communications professional. Like having been in various crisis scenarios, I know what it's like. But you can't be over prepared. And I think these are really exciting ways that you can train yourself and upskill yourself.
And then thinking about life at home, is there a task that you would love AI to take off your plate at some point in the future?
Changing bed linen. I hate it. My worst job ever. And I was thinking today, because you can now get these AI things that project backdrops without a green screen and things. I was thinking, oh, I wonder if you could just do that to bed, but that defeats the purpose of changing the bed sheets, right?
So my wife has already pre-banned robots from the house. Would you let one in?
Oh, absolutely. I'd be delighted to. Take the dog out for a walk when I'm busy on calls. Yeah, no, I'm happy with it.